people on the technical bench. When you're going for a tournament, you have like 20 people, but they're from ministry, they're from
someone's wife, the cousin.
When you get there, like you at the airport and someone's putting on a Kenyan jacket, and you're like, who is this?
Who's this?
You don't, even if someone asks you, you don't know where he's coming from or where she's coming from.
Yeah. Hello friends, I'm Silalei and welcome to The Narrative. This podcast is about giving our African sports celebrities and personalities a platform where they can express themselves freely, share their opinions, and give us a peek into the life of a superstar athlete in Africa. We talk about anything and everything sports, but most of all, we have a good time. Let's go. They call her the master because of what she can do in the game. Today we are joined by the legendary volleyball superstar Gaudencia Makokha. Gau, welcome to The Narrative.
Thank you so much for hosting me, Silalei.
Now, the last time you and I had an interview was in 2018. A lot has changed since then. First of all, I've lost like 15 kgs. If you remember, that was like I'd just come back from giving birth and I was just getting back into the scene. But you were still your lovely looking self. You were still very much a superstar.
Thank you.
But so much has happened. It was the Commonwealth Games, I think the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, World Championship.
Well. The World Championship. Are you ready to hang your boots? Speaking of your boots, I told you these boots. These boots.
I'll get one for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So you ready to retire or you still got a little left in the tank?
Yeah, I thought about it after Tokyo Olympics, but then friends and family, they're like, I need to give another shot because they still think I could have something to give out. Yeah. But then I dropped playing indoor, so I picked on beach volleyball. Yeah.
So for the sake of the guys at home, where are you playing right now? And like, are you playing here in Kenya? Are you playing abroad? Are you not playing at all? Are you focusing more on your career?
No, at the moment, after last year Commonwealth and World Championship, I moved to Mombasa, and that was my suggestion to my boss because I chose to stay with beach volleyball, and staying in Nairobi wouldn't do much for me. So that's why I decided to go to Mombasa so that I can have more humble time in training. It's so sad that I'm the only one staying at the coast because my partner or my partners, they're all in Nairobi. But then I thought maybe, when you're on a team, everyone has a contribution.
Yes.
So maybe when I'll be training, I'll still have like a percentage to give, even though my partners are not with me. Yeah.
Okay. Now take us through your experiences. The Olympics. We say it so casually, and I was having an interview with Ferdinand Omanyala, and I was like, this guy is the fastest man in Africa. He's gone to so many tournaments, and yet, like, we act like it's not a big deal. Going to the Olympics is a huge deal. People spend their whole lives training to get there, and you did. What was that experience like for you?
For sure, I was really happy because since when I was starting to play, this was my dream. I failed to go to Olympics with the indoor team. That was Rio 2016. We didn't qualify. We lost in Cameroon. And I was like, let me try with beach volleyball, And then when we started training, it's really like we got to have so many challenges. Training, we stay in Nairobi. And with beach volleyball, you have to be at the coast.
You have to have sand.
No sponsors on board, know. And you have to sacrifice because here we are playing indoor. And for the club, they're playing you too. Play the six-a-side, not beach volleyball. So it's challenging, when you have an international match, you just maybe get on bus to go to Uganda or Rwanda or Tanzania and play without training. So it's really challenging. But then I had a dream, and if you have a dream, you have to work on it. And if you work on it, God will never leave you alone. He will always have something on your palm, So it was really a dream come true, playing on Olympics. And then, this is the biggest arena, and I was really happy to be in Olympics. It's really a motivation and an achievement. And also being the first ever beach volleyball team to qualify
for the Olympics
in Kenyan history.
Wow.
So it went down to books.
Yeah. And for me, I feel like the moment where you realized umefika is when you have the opening ceremony and you guys have your jackets and your outfits and everything, and you're doing that lap around the stadium.
Arena, yeah.
What was that like?
You know, it's a feeling. You know, we like in Rio, we were in Tokyo, we were like 72 athletes, and how many people you have in Kenya? Like more than 42 million.
Yeah.
And you know, you are that percentage representing the flag. It's, I can say it's a priorities kind of, you know. It's really, and you know, the families are watching at home. People are watching at home, and they're like, that's Silalei, or that's Gaudencia, representing Kenya.
I would have cried like a baby.
Yeah. It's really like,
oh wow.
It's you can't even explain this feeling.
Yeah.
It's just inside and it's burning, like, you know, sometimes you feel like crying.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I know I will never get into the Olympics, and in basketball we are not even close to getting in the Olympics yet. So again, congratulations on that. And then now there was Commonwealth, which took place last year.
Yeah, in
Birmingham. I know that was another big experience for you, and in fact it was a very big goal for you as well.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
You know, first when we went to qualification, I and my partner, we didn't play. Coach decided to play the other pair. Not on a bad way, but just to motivate them, kind of, you know. And people felt like maybe
if you had gone the other way, it would have been different.
People thought coach maybe he didn't make a right decision. But you know, us like the athletes, we understand, you know, there must be that transition. We had a very young teammate, Veronica. Now she's playing in Turkey, and she has to get this experience. If coach don't play them, they can't get to where we are. Yeah. So as we took it on a light note, they finished third, but it was like a really risky one because we could miss the chance to go to Commonwealth. At first, we are lucky because the ranking, we were lucky because we could have so many points, so we had a direct ticket.
Okay.
But then it means if we had won like a gold medal in Ghana, then it means we had to have two teams from Africa because we already have a direct ticket and then number 1 and number 2.
Okay.
So you know, it's a disadvantage to the other nations. But then we were so lucky because the direct ticket saved us. And then when we come back, coach decided to, you know, beach volleyball is a funny game because if you earn points like Silalei, then Silalei will play the game, not Gaudencia. So then coach had no option.
Because the points, explain it to me. So the points are, it's not a collective.
No, not like a nation. It's like an individual. Yeah.
So if you rack up a lot of points, and it's more points. And then, okay, say you and I are teammates, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of points. I don't have so many points. But still, we can qualify based on your points.
Of course. But then we played in the same event. Like now, I and Braxidis, even now they say like they are considering the points, like the World Championship now. I would go still play with her because the ranking is Gaudencia and Braxidis, not with Veronica or Naomi. Yeah. And you know, like when we went to what happens when we're going to the World Championship last year in Italy, they use the points. Like you played in the Continental Qualification Tournament in 2020,
right,
and 2021, and All African Games 2019, and Beach Games. Naomi had a point, but then she was just coming from maternity leave, and also she had a knee injury, so we couldn't play with her. But Braxidis, she got 2 tournaments, but I had 4 tournaments. So even if Veronica, she's the best on the team because she's an upcoming and she's a very good player, but then she doesn't qualify for the 4 tournaments. She didn't play this tournament, so this keeps her out. So beach volleyball is all about the points. That's why when we go to World Championship and Olympics, the other super teams like Brazil, USA, they're having like almost 5 teams because they play the World Tour and they gain so many points.
So really, it's a system where we have to attend more tournaments for us to qualify for bigger tournaments.
Yeah, the more you play, the more you get so many points.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said something so interesting. I'm going to take you back a bit. You said that the coach made a decision. It was a risky decision, but you guys trusted him and went with it. I feel like in basketball, we fight. We're like, oh, the coach didn't put me in. Like we don't have that level of trust, and I really admire that in the volleyball circle, or at least maybe in the beach volleyball circle, for you to be like, it's a huge risk, but you know what? We're going to support his decision and go with it. I feel like that's key for success.
Yeah, of course it is. But all in all, especially women, there will be that feeling like the coach doesn't like me, or why didn't she or he make this decision?
Yeah.
It means he got us all the way from Kenya. We were expecting to play, but when, like in the morning, we had a meeting and he decided who. Even when we were coming from here, traveling to Kano, we didn't know who will play. So like in the morning, they called a meeting and they're like, guys, you have to choose who to play. And like the hearts are pumping up, and everyone on the team is in good shape, and coach thinks they can deliver. And so when he chose the other team, of course you have question like, well, what did I not do well? Like why the coach decided to do this way? Of course you have that mixed reaction.
Yeah.
But then you remember you are like representing the country, and you need to support these guys, The Veronica, this was her first international tournament, and like you need to give her support. If you don't, she'll be like, she'll not perform.
Yeah.
So then you just like pull yourself together and say, let's go, let's do this.
I admire that about you guys. Once it's war, full out war. So are you still thinking about playing volleyball internationally then?
I'm still thinking, because when I just thought like hanging boots, I still got to have offers. Like there's a team in Portugal, they're approaching me. There's a team in Greece, and also in Cyprus.
So kumbe wewe ni hot commodity.
And also the Indonesia, they're playing their league, but it's only runs for 3 months.
Yeah.
So their coach was like on my neck for the last few months, but I told them they have to wait because I made a decision. So if I'm going back, I need also to think, because I wanted to concentrate on work and studying and playing beach volleyball. But when it means to bring back indoor, then I'll have to carry the load that I was wanting to do away with it.
Yeah. And I'm actually, it kind of steers us to my next question. You've talked about your experience in Poland in previous TV interviews. I think even the last time you and I talked, we talked about it, but for the sake of the podcast.
Okay.
Tell us about your experience in Poland. I know, personally, I know what it's like to live in a foreign country where you're not used to the food, you're not used to the culture. Now, for you, you're in Poland where it's not like you see black people walking around everywhere. So now there's that element of racism. So take us through like what that experience was for you, how you managed it, and then again, what made you make that decision, which you're talking about now, where you're like, no, I need to pull back from indoor volleyball because the load is too heavy.
Yeah, like when you get to this journey of turning into professional, first you have to understand what's professional. This means like you're starting another journey away from your family, your friends, your people of your race, because you're going to a different continent, different climate, different food, culture, everything. So you have to understand it at first. When you turn this page, you have to know everything and understand it first. Because so many people tried, but they didn't manage, because first they didn't understand, and they didn't they think they didn't make a right choice, But then if you think you have made a right choice and you are ready to start this journey, then I think you'll understand and what you want to achieve. When I turned professional, I was like, this is what I've been wanting. When you watch guys play in foreign countries, they get paid well, and you get fame. When you get back here, it's an advantage, because when you're playing professional, no one will leave you on the national team.
It's true.
Yeah, because people will ask, but she's playing professional. So why you don't have her on team or he on the team? So it's an advantage first for you as individual, for your talent. And then, of course, personally, you have to, like, what you want. So when I made this decision, I had all of this, like, Europe, it's a racist continent. And then, this is not what I'm getting there. I have a dream why I went there, or why I made this decision to go to Poland. At first, it was really difficult because it was cold season. It was snowing. And then language barrier.
Yeah.
Even your closest friend, you can't have a chat because they don't speak English.
Yeah. And there was no other African player on the team?
No, I was the only one. But there were guys around who play basketball and rugby. But you don't meet frequently.
It's true.
Yeah, so like you are walking on the street, you are the only black guy, so people like staring at you. When you go to the gym, to the shopping malls, it's really challenging. But then you have to focus because you know why you travel all those miles from Africa to Europe.
Yeah.
And also the food stuff it's another thing. But then you have to get used to. Sometimes I could ask friends because I have friends who are living in Germany. So, and from Poland to Germany with train is like 3 hours, depending where the city you are. Okay. So you are so close. So I could get some ugali.
Oh, at least. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and on the team, the coach also don't speak English. So you can,
So how do you even know what to do? Like when he's giving the extra, because they
and you don't know if
he
is angry at you or because maybe normally when you're playing and you make a mistake, you see how the coaches reacted. They can really say some bad words,
Yeah.
But what I did when I go to Poland, I started to learn their language. But you
start with the bad words,
of course. So I knew if he's saying this, it doesn't mean good to me.
Yeah.
But then he could get angry at sometimes, but he don't use those words, He could tell the captain, because the captain, she played in different countries. She's a Polish, but she understands English, so she could tell me, coach wants this and this, know. But it's challenging because I don't trust her because I don't know if she's telling me the right thing that coach said or not,
That's rough.
So it was really challenging. And also hanging up, you can't. But then I got used to. They used to come at my place. I teach them some few English words and they teach me some few Polish words.
Yeah.
So, and we got on set.
Yeah. Right. And you think about especially like the young, when you're older, you can carry that burden. But if you're a young person, 21, 22, you're going there, you're away from your family, it's foreign food, you can get into a depression. Yeah. I've heard of athletes who get into depression. Then the weather. Yeah, it's not like the weather is beautiful like it is here in Nairobi. And you said it's the winter. It's tough.
Yeah, but it's not all about the age. There are some young people who can survive than the old ones. Yeah. When I went to Poland, I was still young. But when I was growing up, I've been in a really tough journey. This journey, it has made me who I am today. Yeah. No matter where I go, I don't see things the way people see. Right. I see them in a different direction. So this is what kept me going. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Well, I personally am glad you're back. But you can't overlook the training regime difference between what you did maybe in Europe and now in Kenya. Help us understand what that big difference is. And I know you've talked about it before. Like it's completely different. And the reason why people also go out there is because your game elevates. You become better. The coaches are more exposed. The training regime is a bit different. So what would you say are the big differences between now like training here in Kenya and training in Poland when you went?
Yeah, training in training programs in Europe and here back at home, they're two different things.
Night and day.
Here you work, like you train so many hours, but when you train so many hours, like in the morning we are doing this, in the afternoon and in the evening we are doing this. I can't remember what I did in the morning. But then these guys, what they do, like we used to go 1.5 hours in the gym in the morning. And then that's from maybe, let's say 7 to 8 or 8:30. And then the rest of the day you're just relaxing.
Wow.
And then you have another training at 4.
Mm.
4 to 6 or 4 to 7:30.
Mm.
And when you get to training, like team sport, we have different positions.
Yes.
There are defenders, there are setters, there are middle blockers.
So guys like break out into the
every
different...
section have their own coach.
Right.
You don't mix up because on the court we don't do the same thing.
Right.
Everyone has a role. And so they could have every coach with a specific unit of playing unit, But here it's difficult. You only have a head coach and assistant. And we have like 30 people on team.
Mm-hmm.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
And then here guys, like coaches, they don't really consider people going to the gym. They believe like we are Africans, so we got to have the natural
strength and everything.
It doesn't work this way.
Yeah.
When I went to Poland, first time when I went to the gym, we got so many young people on the team. So we had this girl, we played in the same position, but she was 17 years. She was doing the weight I wouldn't do.
Really?
Yeah.
And she was like 17?
17, and the weight she's lifting, even a 40-year guy from here he can't do. And because they were introduced earlier, and they get used to. And you wonder when you go to the World Championship, we were beaten under 15, under 10. So you wonder how, and the girls we are losing to these girls, they're so young.
Yeah.
And our team, like the Malkia strikers, we could have so many experienced people like Moim, Hadambi, name them. So you wonder how to a very senior team Kenya lose to a young team. It's not young like you think, but mentally they've grown up in everything.
Yeah.
So they train less hours and gain more. But here we train so many hours and we lose more.
So it's more about quality over quantity. And unfortunately it's the same thing even in basketball. Like you'll have a morning session that's 3.5 hours long.
3 to 4.
Can you imagine? And then you go, you eat lunch, which is maybe like a small ugali, bit of nyama and greens.
Given that we don't earn so much here and we don't get our pays on time, some players, they go on empty stomach.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first of all, you're not getting the right nutrition, so you're not even building the muscle that if you're doing the weights, you're not building the muscle. Then we go back in the evening, it's another 3-4 hours. You're getting home, maybe it's 11 p.m. By the time you're cooking, you're settling down, you're sleeping at midnight, you're waking up at 6. So you've only had 6 hours of relaxed recovery time.
Yeah.
And then you have that's now camp, and then you're going straight to a tournament. So we go to this tournament and we are beat. Like you don't even have fresh legs. You can't, you're performing much less. You can keep up with these guys, but you're performing much less because your body is just tired.
Of course.
And I think it has to be
what they do. Pre-season, you see teams moving from their country of origin, they go to other places and they go to have build up friendly matches, what the Brazilian coach took Malkia strikers to Europe, they were training 3 months.
Yeah.
And you saw they didn't win any match they won one match, that's against Cameroon. But at least their performance to the other teams, it was different given the previous one.
Yeah. Because
they went for 3 months training, and you see how it really
changed
had an impact.
Yeah,
of course.
So you consider it now, okay, that was just a one-time thing. Now what if we did that year round?
Yeah. And when the Brazilian coach came on board, he had his own guys. He came with 7 guys. And he's doing the way they're doing, because there's a gym instructor, there's a physio,
nutritionist, everyone,
team doctor,
Yeah.
But here, when you ask someone, you need 10 people on the technical bench. When you're going for a tournament, you have 20 people, but they're from ministry, they're from
someone's wife,
even
the cousin.
When you get there, you're at the airport and someone's putting on a Kenyan jacket, and you're like, who is this?
Who's this?
You don't, even if someone asks you, you don't know where he's coming from or where she's coming from.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And when we went to Birmingham, every team had their own doctor and their own physio. Our physio was dropped.
Wow.
And you know, when we went to Birmingham, every team, we were staying in different places. So we used to, like, we go from our hotel to the village to get the massage.
What?
Yeah. And you know, it's far away from
Yeah.
where we're staying to the village, you know.
Yeah.
It was really challenging. And
Yeah.
also when you're playing, there must be someone on the, because for beach volleyball, you understand there's no coach on the touchline, but the only person you can have on the bench is a team doctor. So you can say we don't have a team doctor. So in a scenario whereby someone get injured,
you're on your own.
you have to get help from maybe the organizing committee or from the other team.
Imagine there was a time we went, we had a tournament in, was it Angola or Mozambique? And our team captain at the time, she had some kind of an injury, and I think she actually slipped her disc in her back. We don't have a doctor, we don't have a physio, it's the coach and the team manager, and that's it. Do you know it was actually a referee on the floor who came, and then we saw him like
trying to help.
Yeah, and he put it back in. And for me, like that, I think even up until now, it kind of haunts me, because I'm just like, we're out here in a foreign country, we have the Kenyan flag, because we were going as the national team, and we don't even have, they can't even cater for the basic, because it's a basic need. It's not luxury.
Yeah.
It's a basic need. Why can't we have just even a doctor or a physio? And I'm happy that things have improved a bit in Kenyan basketball, like in Ibado. I still feel like when we ask for these things, they feel like the players are asking for too much.
But it's not. And you know,
basics.
Then the other thing is, you know, like when we are preparing for, let's say, we are in the camp for Olympics or World Championship or given Commonwealth. Like for us guys and the swimming guys, we are in Mombasa. So like every team has their own doctor. Do you know, Silalei, because you have been in camp for 1 month or 2 months, it's only your doctor or your physio understand what kind of injury you have and how she or he can deal with it. Then you go to, like, it's time to go for competition. They drop her or him, and then they bring someone else.
Yes.
He really or she really doesn't understand what you were supposed to take. Like in Tokyo, we had a problem. Braxidis, she has a problem with her knees. So there's specific medication that she's supposed to take. And you know, the doctor they gave us, she was like, you can't take this, you can't take this, and how she can play. Wow. And this is what she has been doing since she was young. This is a problem she has since she was young, and now she's almost going to 40.
Yeah.
So, and this doctor, she told her, you can't take this. Wow. So in that scenario, and you're going for the competition, and she needs to take them like 2 hours before the competition.
Yeah. It's mad.
Even psychologically, she might not be my coach, but she understands, like, this time Gaudencia behave like this, maybe she needs this and this, you know. But someone who doesn't know you, it can't work. When they're getting someone on board, they leave out the legendary, like you see on the Rambe Stars. They don't involve Musa Otieno. And you know, this guy has done a lot in football in Kenya, you know.
And he understands, because he's experienced it himself.
There. And you know, like when I have someone like that one, like my coach, if he tells me do this, I understand because I've seen him playing. So he knows what he's telling me, and he knows it's possible. So it's easier to adapt it. Unlike some other guy who didn't play football or volleyball, trying to tell you to do this, so how I can do this? It's not possible.
Okay, so those are the bad memories. I want to talk about the good memories. I feel like every athlete has a memory that stood out in their career, that stood out to them. So for some people, it's even a season. Like for me, it was, again, in Mozambique. I don't like that country.
Why?
I think I just had very bad experiences. I was bitten by a dog. A dog bit my arm in Mozambique.
On the street?
No, at the stadium. And it was a guard dog. I was just like, no, Mozambique, apana. But the great memory I had was we were playing against their home team, and it was I think it wasn't even a qualification game, but it was a game. You know those games for pride.
Yeah.
And I remember it was so loud. I couldn't. If I'm talking to you and you're this close to me, my teammate couldn't hear me. But somehow, like that squad, it's like we blocked everything out. And even though we couldn't hear each other, we were communicating and we were so in sync. And this is a really good team, and we were like this until the very end. And the coach made a few bad decisions, and then we lost that game. We forget that part. But for me, it was like a goosebumps moment where I felt like my team, we were like, you're in warfare, but we're in this together, and we're gonna make it, and we were succeeding. So I think for me, that's my personal greatest memory. But I'm sure you have one too, and I want to know it.
Yeah, I think mine was, during the qualification for Tokyo Olympics, that was in Morocco. You see, it was time for when COVID was real. So we traveled to Morocco, and when we get to Morocco, they told us, guys, you stay in your hotel rooms, no training, no going outside. Even you can't go to your teammate's room. It was really a no-go zone.
Why? Because of, was it COVID?
Yeah, because it was in early 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were the last team to qualify.
Yeah.
Even they didn't have a budget for us with the knock team. Because they thought we will not play and will not qualify.
Yeah.
They were like bringing food on our doorstep. So someone comes and knock, and when you open the door, the food is
like prison.
Yeah. But you know, the most frustrating is they let the Moroccan team and the Egyptian team, because we could watch from the windows. Just where we're playing, you can watch from the window at the beach.
Yeah.
They were training. So they denied the black teams to train, but the Arab teams, they're going out for shopping and they're going for training. Because with the same, we
it's
are
unfair.
Yeah, it's really unfair, because this is what we thought is racism, you know?
Yes.
Because no other black team was going outside, but the Egyptian and the Moroccans were training and going out for shopping. And you know what happens? You know, every bad thing has a good thing at the end, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I think when we were, like tomorrow we're playing the quarterfinals, and you know they were doing tests like every day. So when we went to the court, we didn't see the Egyptian team. And you know, fortunately we were playing against them. We were supposed to play against them. They were disqualified because one of the guys, not the player, but one of the guys from the management team, he tested positive
for COVID.
Yeah, so they were chased out of Morocco.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you see, they got all the privilege. You know, we stayed like 5 days without training, without going outside, just in the room. But these guys were training, you know. And given that Morocco, it's really, that time was hot. And you know, the sun is not white. It's like reddish, blackish. When it's hot, you can't even have blisters.
No way.
Yeah. So these guys got all the privilege. But then you see what happens.
Yeah.
The Egyptian team, they were chased away. Yeah, because they said if one of you guys, be it team manager, the head of delegation or wherever, if it is positive, the whole team
out.
Yeah. So they went, and that was an advantage to us because you know Egypt is a strong team. They went to Rio. We didn't go to the last qualification tournament in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And they won, and they went to Rio. So it's a good team, you know. But it worked on our way.
Yeah.
There was one rock
out of the way
as winning.
So that's a major highlight for you.
And you know, when the semi-final, we met Morocco. We played, you know, it's a host team, you know. They had all the fans cheering them up, you know. And this one fun thing about the Arab teams, when they say they're losing, they start to fake injuries wherever, everything that takes them to win. So the girl, like, I don't know if she twisted her knee or something, but she was just faking it. Then they had to stop a match for almost like 1 hour.
What?
In beach volleyball, if you have, one of you gets an injury, you could have 15 minutes medical break. After this, if she doesn't or he doesn't recover, then the opponent wins.
But there's an hour.
An hour, and you know you can't even ask them. You know, now the African president, she's the lady from Morocco.
Oh.
So you can't even, you don't have even the guts to stand and say, this is unfair. But you had to wait. And then after 1 hour, we got on the court and we beat them. and we went to the final. We met
Go,
Nigeria.
let me tell you, if I'm breaking for an hour, it's a wrap. My knees have
It
locked.
is.
My body has cooled down.
Yeah, and you
it's
see,
over.
for me, at least I'm used to Brexit. This was her second beach volleyball tournament.
Oh, wow.
She's not used to the harsh condition, and she was like, I'm done. I said, no, Mama, you know. And everyone thinks she's my mom when you're playing.
Really?
I don't know if we look alike or, but you know, I like her personality and the leadership she has.
Yeah.
You know, she has been my captain in the indoor team, but when she was called on beach volleyball, she was listening and she was ready to listen and to learn new things. She's a good listener, she's a leader, and she's like a mom to me because you know, her firstborn, the son, we are not so like the son is 26 and I just turned 30, so we are not.
Yeah, it's not that far.
Yeah, she's a mom, more than a mom to me, you know.
That's dope.
Yeah, and I told her, we need to do this. You've been playing for the last 20 years with the national team, and this is the only arena you haven't played Olympics, so we have to do it. And after this 1 hour, she was really
Done.
like, I can't.
Yeah.
But you know, the good thing with the qualification tournament for Olympics, we are like 2 pairs. All of you are playing. So if we playing against, let's say, Uganda, our team A meets team B of Uganda, and team A of Uganda meets our team B. If we have like win-win, one win, so we have to decide the winner between Uganda and Kenya. So the coach can choose, like, it's not always that I play with you. He can choose one from team A and the other one from team B. But then it's up to coach, because if the other team B is losing, so the golden match is always team A playing. Yeah. So I was like, you know, the coach can't choose anyone. It's just me and you. And given that these girls, they losing all their matches, we are the decision is in our hands.
Yeah.
So we picked up and we beat them. And that's how we qualified to go to Tokyo Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Respect. Respect. Now you talked about harsh conditions, Gao. I have to ask this question. I've always wondered. Sand gets in your hair, gets in your eyes, gets in your butt crack. It's everywhere. How do you, like, I see you guys diving, rolling, standing up. For me, at half of the game, I'd just be like this. How do you get the sand? And you have really nice dreads. And you're always clean. So how do you guys like clean yourselves up after the sand? Like, I feel like I'd be so agitated by just the sand in my everything.
No, it's so easy. When you get sand in your eyes or in your face, in your eyes you just use water, and that's all.
Rinse it out.
Yeah. And when every time you're having a break, maybe a timeout, you just use, you see the lesson, the cotton one. You just wipe it, it's easier than using a towel. A towel, it's rough. The sand will not get out, and it can cause you some breakage on your face because it's a rough piece of cloth. So you just use the simple lasso, and everyone's using, even the main team.
Really?
They're using the cotton lasso, so it's easier to wipe the sand off. And you know, the good thing with sand, even if you dive, you can't get injured. You know, when I was playing indoor, I was supporting my knees.
Yeah.
But when you're training on the beach, the sand really helps you. You can't get injuries, you know. It's so cool. People think maybe we get hurt, but no. Playing on the sand is something. And you see, even the professional teams like the soccer teams, Barcelona, give it these big teams. The pre-season they're doing on the beach. Did you ever ask why?
Yeah.
This is the reason.
It's not so hard on your joints, and it's not easy to get injured. So how you get the sand out of your hair?
I just go to the shower and, as I told you, just use a piece of cloth and you wipe it out, and that's all. And one thing of this sand, that it doesn't stick in your hair or on your body. No. And also you have techniques. You just can't like dive and get sand all over. At first it was difficult when I started playing because I could get sand all over. Like last weekend I was playing with my friend. She was asking me, but you don't have sand on your hair, but she was covered in sand. It's like there's techniques. When you're playing, you know how to dive and avoid sand getting in your hair. And to avoid the sun, you saw me, I'm always playing with the sunglasses.
Yeah, you always have sunglasses. I'm sure they're polarized.
Yeah, they're polarized.
So
they reduce the light between your eyes and the sun. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, apart from reducing the light, they they protect you from sun getting into your eyes.
Into your eyes,
Yeah.
okay. Because guys can get even sunburned.
Yeah, and also the other trick thing is, an opponent, if you don't have the sunglasses, when an opponent, she or is looking in your eyes, he can tell if you're scared or not. So they put pressure on you. But when you have those sunglasses,
you can't tell anything.
Yeah, no one will know you are tensed up or no. So it's something secret about the sunglasses.
So it's not just to look cool.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
There are
Now I
some
know
reasons behind.
this is a topic that's dear to your heart, because I know you want to be a coach eventually. But it's challenging, like you said, because I feel like with beach volleyball, in fact, I wanted to ask you, to play beach volleyball, do you have to be near a beach, or can guys who are in Eldoret, for instance, learn how to play beach volleyball? Like, how do we grow the sport? Because, I mean, you're very talented, but at 30, retirement is not too far off. So we're not looking at the next generation. So what are you doing about trying to identify that new talent, and trying to see how to create more opportunities for guys to play beach volleyball?
One thing about beach volleyball, you don't have to play like along the river or the ocean or the lake. Some of the countries I've been going to play in, they don't have even the beaches. So what they do, they import the sand, and they just try to put in, maybe, let's say like a place like Karura. You see how the environment they just put their sand and that is it. But then another thing is, another challenge rather, it's getting used to the sand. Yeah. One of the things is to get the sand and then identify the players and then get them used to the sand. The only challenge you have here is beach volleyball is not popular in Africa, leave alone in Kenya. It's not like in Europe. So here people play indoor volleyball for a living. But in Europe, there's specific players who are playing beach volleyball and those who are playing indoor volleyball. They don't mix up. So it's all about, this is what I'm thinking, in future, we need to identify those young guys and young boys and give them the specific role of playing beach volleyball rather than playing both. And then we get a beach volleyball circuit or beach volleyball league, like the Europeans do. They have the world tour. They do it like every weekend they're playing, and we make it like similar like to the volleyball. We have our local league, and this is specifically for beach volleyball and specified players. I think if we do this, will be a mileage of, because this we have been having players who are playing beach volleyball and indoor volleyball, and have gone to 4 World Championships, have gone to Olympic, have gone to Commonwealth.
Right.
And how about we have a specific team just for beach volleyball? We can go places and we can do much more than what we have done. And also, like, the reason why I moved to Mombasa is I want to get some young girls and young boys. The only challenge in Mombasa is the Swahili culture. Girls are not willing to come on board to play beach volleyball. But one thing I was telling them, the Egyptian team, they went to Rio. They have the Muslim culture and religion.
You have to wear the hijab and stuff.
So now the FIPB, they did a consideration about the Muslim ladies who are playing beach volleyball, so they can play with the hijab. And so it's not now clothing, playing a bikini. It's not now. It's not. You are not limited. So I hope by the time I'll be in Mombasa, maybe the next 5 years, I think I'll have those young boys and young girls getting on board. And now the National Federation will not struggle to get someone from maybe Western or wherever, because we have girls who can play and boys who can play, and they are training Mombasa every time, and they get used to the sun. Because this thing of getting used to the sun can be really challenging. Yeah. It's easier to get from the sun and play indoor volleyball than coming from indoor volleyball and play beach volleyball. It's really challenging. Yeah.
Even walking in sand is hard. So I'm trying to imagine just diving, running, shuffling. It's
but
tough.
When you get used to, even now I'm working, but I took a job for, and I go to the beach to train. And when I get to the sand, I just like
something comes alive.
like nimeamka asubuhi. Yeah. So when you get used to and you love it, that is it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I'll get sponsors, maybe one or two. That is it. Because right now where I'm training, I can put even like 5 courts. Yeah. So, and this is me personally.
Yeah.
So how about I get someone supporting me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of sponsors, we actually have a gift from you.
Oh, really?
Our friends at Denry have decided to gift you with a lovely purse here.
Ooh, thank you.
By the way, for those at home, if you've not seen Gaudencia's dress at the Soya Awards, I strongly encourage you to Google that. She was a hot babe. So this is for you. Denry Africa have a very wide collection of bags online. The website is Denry Africa Stores. You can see the link below. And they're very passionate about supporting Africa's athletes, making sure you guys are dressed well and hooked up with the best bags in the country. So this is for you.
Thank you.
To celebrate you and your accomplishment, to thank you for all that you've done. You're a trailblazer, beach volleyball, putting Kenya on the map, putting Africa on the map in a sport that is still very new to us. So I wanted to celebrate you and ask you, why do they call you the master? That's my last question. I want to know, why do they call you the master? I agree with them, but I want to know why that nickname came about.
When you're playing team sports, let's say let it be basketball, volleyball, or handball, there's always that one girl or one boy on the team doing something that everyone doesn't do. We do things in your own unique ways, you know? Yeah. So when I was playing indoor volleyball rather than 6-a-side volleyball, first I joined KCB. When I went to KCB, when I started playing, I was a middle blocker. Then, I started at Blue Triangle. I was a middle blocker just from school. Then I went to KCB. Then I went to Nairobi Water. When I left KCB, going to Nairobi Water, I was still playing middle blocker. But then when I was in KCB, I was switched to being a middle blocker to playing outside. Outside here, you can receive and smash. The powerful hitters on the team. Yeah, it's like Chumba.
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens is, when I went to KCB, there were so many center players, and I could get, because they're all experienced, like Jackie Barasa, they play for the national team. So coach told me, like, you can play, because he saw my skill of receiving. So I went to play outside here. So then when I left KCB, I went to Nairobi Water. I was playing middle blocker also and outside. But then we didn't have a libero. So coach told me, you have good reception and good defense. So today I'll play you libero. So sometimes I could play libero. So then in 2014 I left for Pipeline, like middle blocker and outside. But then there were so many middle blockers and outside hitters, and we didn't have a right player. So coach told me, you have to go to play right. And every time they will turn me, I will take it positively, So I went to play right, and that's what I've been doing even the national team. Yeah, I was playing outside, middle blocker and right player, and also libero. And on the team, even if that ball wasn't mine, I would get it. I would do everything to not let the ball touch
the ground.
Yeah, that's how the master game. And on the team, hata kama siko in good form, coach will never leave me. Because in that scenario, the middle blocker fails, I'll be standby. In that scenario where outside hitter is not there, I'll be standby. Right player, I'll be always standby. Libero. So that's how the master came on. Master of everything.
I love it. Ozzy, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, sharing your stories. I always really enjoy chatting with you and about your experience and what you've gone through as a superstar athlete. So I appreciate you so much for coming, Gau. Guys, being a master at your craft is, it requires a lot of sacrifice, as Gau has talked about. But oftentimes it comes with a lot of rewards. But I believe that when it comes to at the expense of your happiness or your mental health, you need to take a step back and figure out what is best for you, which is what Gaudencia did. So that's my encouragement to you guys. Be a master at your craft, but don't let being a master take over every aspect of your life. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anyway, you guys know what to do. If you liked this video, hit the like button. Comment below. Let us know who else you want to see on the Narrative Podcast. If you loved it, subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode and our next guest. Thank you so much for joining us. That's a wrap for today. We'll see you all next time.